Hello, and welcome to my channel, The Everyday Philosopher. Today I'm going to be talking about, this is a part 2 continuation of the 21 pieces of life advice that I have. If you haven't seen the first part of this video, you can go check it out. Well, in all reality, it doesn't really matter, but you should still go and check it out. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy. Number 13. Life moves with or without you. No matter how chaotic your life gets, life still continues to move on. Alrighty, number 14. We are getting there. We are 2/3 of the way done, which is really exciting. Alright, this one is another kind of like mental, psychological one. I'll do my best to explain. But just because something is over with doesn't mean that it didn't happen. There is something really, really powerful in admitting that an event happened. Whether if it was a good event or a bad event, whether you're trying to like get over something or just make peace with it, there's something really powerful. So let's say, for an example, that a really traumatic situation occurred and it was just kind of like brushed underneath the rug for you. Well, just because that event is over doesn't mean that that trauma didn't happen, doesn't mean that that trauma didn't occur. And if something really positive happened, like let's say you spent a really good day with your friends, you had an amazing time, well, just because that event is over with doesn't mean that you didn't have fun, doesn't mean that it wasn't a good time, didn't mean that your friends didn't care about you. Your friends cared about you. That trauma event happened to you. And just because an event is over doesn't mean that it's it's really over and that it didn't happen, because it did. I know that that might seem kind of like a common sense piece to have in there, but it's a really big deal, and there's a lot of truth and, like I said, a lot of power in it, and it's something that I recently just discovered and has given me a lot of freedom and joy. So, number 15. You don't owe everyone an explanation for being you. Alrighty, number 16. I am going to start with the quote this time, and then I will explain what it means. Quote, "Sin can be the most comfortable thing in the terrible, weird ways." This was a text from a friend that I got, and it just also really hit me as profound. And I guess I never thought about it, but yeah, sin can be an incredibly comfortable thing in a really weird way, especially if you're going through some stuff. And I'm not really sure if there's a life lesson that's attached to this one, but I just think that's one of those things that you should be aware of and not necessarily even feel bad about, because it happens, we get attachments and we get addiction. Am I advocating to you that you should just give up and go out on a sinning streak? No, that's not what I'm advocating here, let's be clear. What I'm saying is that we do form bonds to our sins, and we do have sometimes emotional attachments, and just being aware of the fact that there could be an emotional attachment can be a really big thing in helping you beat that emotional attachment and getting over that sin. And in some weird way, I think even just having this text and this conversation with this friend brought me a lot of healing and a lot of graces. Number 17. This one's going to get a bit politically, but I am a firm believer that there is dignity to every single human being on this earth, and that there is something fundamentally given to each and every human being that makes them special and worth being protected and worth having, basic human rights. Number 18. No one stays the same, and that's okay. People change, and that's okay. And I have changed too, and that's also okay. Number 19 is that kindness is also a really good thing to have and a really good thing to be. Everyone has their own personal battles, everyone has their own struggles, and being kind to someone can get you a really long way. I've befriended some people that were downright nasty, but because of my kindness, they opened up to me. And kindness can do a lot of really great things. The world has so many people that are dark and sarcastic and demeaning, and why would you want to be another one of those when you can be kind and you can be uplifting and you can bring positive things to the world? Don't underestimate the power of your words. Even a small thing like a joke can make or break someone's whole day. So you really have a lot of power in what you say, so be kind. That's kind of just the simplest of things. Out of all the things that you can be in this world, be kind. There's a quote from, forgive me, I'm probably going to mispronounce her name, Maya Angelou, that I really like. She's a famous poet on the kind of like the virtues of kindness. And she says, quote, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And I think that's really profound and really something worth thinking about. Now we are at 20. Woo! You are not responsible for the entire world. Take a deep breath and a deep breath out, and accept the fact that the weight of the world is off your shoulders. You are not responsible for the entire world and every single problem and every single person. You have your share of work to do as a human being, and you are responsible for a lot of things, but you are not responsible for picking up and cleaning up this entire mess of a world, at least not by yourself. This is extremely liberating and extremely freeing, because when you realize that nobody cares how you look, you can allow yourself to look how you want. And if you allow yourself to look how you want, you can look how you want. So essentially, by realizing that nobody really cares about how you look, you're able to really be yourself more and express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. One of my personal little mottos is that if a person doesn't like me based upon how I dress, if they don't want to be a friend of mine solely because of how I look, then that's not the sort of person that I want to be friends with to begin with. So in a way, kind of by following this philosophy, you can weed out people who really aren't good friends and really aren't good people in that aspect. And that, folks, sums up my 21 pieces of life advice that I've learned in the last 21 years. I think these are all stellar pieces of advice, and I'm curious if you guys do as well. Again, I'm not like a famous philosopher. These are just things that I've learned in my life. A lot of them seem like common sense, but I think that they're good to talk about. So let me know what you think in the comments, and peace.